Coming up on Theater Talk,
we're going to be talking about the upcoming and exciting, new Broadway and off-Broadway season here in New York City. So let's get right to it, Patrick. Before we jump into all the new shows coming up, I just want to get one thing out of the way. Razzle Dazzle, the battle for
Drinking game.
Drinking game. Theater Talk is made possible in part by the CUNY TV Foundation and the Honorable Thomas Mercer Ray. From New York City, this is Theater Talk. I'm Susan Haskins.
And I'm Michael Riedel of the New York Post. And I'm also the author of a new book called
All right, everybody. All right. Drinking game.
Drinking game.
It's a new book called Razzle Dazzle, The Battle for Broadway. That's out from Simon & Schuster in bookstores near you. And I'm joined by fans of my book, Patrick Pacheco from New York One on Stage. You're getting your autograph copy?
And art info. I saw that on the Remaindered column in the Strand, Michael, as I was biking up here.
Thank you very much. And our friend Michael Musto from
Out.com, which is a new thing, Michael, called the Internet.
Well,
you should check it out instead of clinging to the dying book business. I'm also on the dying TV. No, I'm also on TV in Cocktails and Classics.
Oh, I love that show.
Oh, we like Cocktails and Classics, yes. I'd be delighted to come on and talk about my book.
When hell freezes over.
What's it?
My book, Razzle Dazzle, The Battle for Broadway. And we're also joined by our friend Jesse Green, the theater critic for New York Magazine. And believe it or not, we're not going to be talking about my book that much tonight.
Forget it. I can't do this.
We're going to be talking about the upcoming and exciting, new Broadway and off-Broadway season here in New York City. So let's get right to it, Patrick. Before we jump into all the new shows coming up, I just want to get one thing out of the way. Razzle Dazzle, the battle for I want to get Hamilton out of the way, all right? It opened in the summer. It has been lauded up the wazoo. You cannot pick up the New York Times without reading some puff piece, some slobbering job about how brilliant Hamilton is. Honestly, Patrick, is this the show that is changing everything?
Well, I heard the Pope couldn't get tickets when he was in New York. Yeah, I think it's terrific. I think it's great. I don't know what your animus towards it is,
what's
Michael.
the hostility towards it?
It's hiring. It's employing a lot of people. It's going to be around for a long time. It's fresh. It's original. Lin-Manuel Miranda did a great job. I think it's terrific. I think it's great.
Talking points. All right, Michael, please.
I loved it. Sorry.
Oh, God.
I found it thrilling. It's the new chorus line.
Oh, no.
But on Broadway, things don't change the game. Let's face it, Hair opened in the 1960s. Everybody was like, all the new shows are going to be rock and roll. There were like 2 new shows that were rock and roll.
They were terrible.
Yeah. Broadway is set in its ways, but Hamilton is a thrilling new example of the way a musical can be. The rap was exciting. Even though it's old school rap, it's not up to the minute rap.
Yeah, I mean, Lin-Manuel's idea of rap music is something that I was listening, well, I wasn't listening to it, but I heard some of it in like 1991
Well, Broadway's not ready for Nicki Minaj. They're ready for like Sugar Hill Gang.
Milli Vanilli, that's what I like.
Yeah.
All right, Jesse, you're the critic on this panel. Please, are you with me on this? Is it overpraised? Is it overrated?
No. It's excellent. Sorry.
So let's cut that nasty chapter out of Razzle Dazzle.
But I agree with what Michael and I think Patrick too said. It's calling it historic and a game changer is usual flim-flammery. I mean, it's just a very good example of what it is. And honestly, I don't want to see the things that come in its train, trying to imitate that style, because they're going to be hideous.
Yeah, just as Michael was saying about the rock musicals that came after Hair.
Exactly.
They're really terrible. It is diminishing returns.
Right.
And also the great Broadway shows are really kind of one-offs in some way. I mean, what did a chorus line lead to? Nothing really, but
unemployment once they all broke their feet.
Right. But why should any Broadway musical be seen as something that's going to pave the way for something new? Great shows are unique and exciting and unto themselves.
Like the Gloria Estefan show.
Well, that's what I think could topple Hamilton, actually.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Let's talk about the Gloria Estefan show, which is called On Your Feet, as opposed to
On Your Toes.
I think this could be the Mamma Mia slot. I think this is a show that's not going to be a game changer.
I think it's a first.
But it's going to be fun.
It's a first-rate creative team. You've got Jerry Mitchell directing. You've got Sergio Trujillo choreographing.
Yep.
You have Alex de Lares, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, the screenplay writer for Birdman, writing the book.
Yep.
It tried out in Chicago, got very good reviews in Chicago. It's coming in with a head of steam, I think, into New York, and I think it's going to be a hot ticket.
More than Mamma Mia, it's the new Beautiful, but it's Beautiful times two because it's a couple. It's Gloria and Emilio against the world, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it's another one of these jukebox shows about an artist's progression and their career, and this one has the love affair, the love story. I think it is going to appeal to people. Everyone's going to conga for tickets, and I do like Gloria, but you start thinking, what next, Jodie Watley?
Are these the kind of things that just make your flesh crawl when you see them coming? You know, you've got to sit through these jukebox bio things again?
Well, crawl might be too strong. I do, I'm not a fan of jukebox musicals. I don't think, I can't say I can think of one that I think is any good.
Jersey Boys?
I hate Jersey Boys.
Really?
Mamma Mia?
I've
like
said
Hamilton?
this 100 times.
You hate what?
Mamma Mia?
Beautiful?
I don't like any of them.
You're the Grinch.
I'm the Grinch. That's right. No, because the books are terrible. They're trying to squeeze material that was not written to tell a story into these rejiggered stories that are neither true to the biography nor make sense of the lyrics. And dramatically, the whole thing's a wash. It can be fun.
Jersey Boys was so brilliantly directed.
Ew.
Interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you, Susan.
Yes. Well, I'm clearly an outlier on that one, but I'm willing to give it a chance. What I've noticed, though, about the Hamilton thing, this On Your Feet is the only big show that seems to have dared to come in the wake of Hamilton, because even almost all the way to the spring, there's not a lot of new shows of large stature.
Well,
it's also a question of rent. What you could a theater.
Yeah,
timing is always when you can get a theater, whether it's Hamilton or not. I think that has
there's one coming, though. I saw the workshop of it, and I thought it was terrific. I didn't even know what to expect, but A School of Rock.
Right.
Which is Andrew Lloyd Webber's new musical based on the popular movie. And what's interesting to me about this, Patrick, is Andrew Lloyd Webber seems to me deliberately to be sort of staying out of the spotlight. It's not Andrew Lloyd Webber's show. It's just School of Rock, lyrics by Glenn Slater, additional music by Andrew Lloyd Webber, book by Julian Fellows, who did Downton Abbey.
Well, School of Rock is a brilliant movie.
Well, he's box office poison, let's face it.
They're also using music from the Jack Black movie.
Yeah.
Is that
and then
right?
Andrew has written several new good rock songs.
Right, and as you just pointed out, Julian Fellows, again, somebody from writing for screen is now writing for the theater as well.
Right.
And they hosted a series of workshops. I think you saw.
Yeah, I thought it was
Union
great fun.
Square Theater. I thought that the word that came out about it was that the book needed some more work. Did it?
The book always needs work, but
Did it?
No, I didn't.
Well, I didn't understand what the butler was doing in there. Explain that.
But
Why does it take place at Sandhurst?
It was a charming movie that I really enjoyed, and I took my friends to see it. And
Yes.
they were like, oh, we can get into this, because it's a formula story of kind of a nebbishy weirdo who's off the beaten track and finds his mission in life by teaching his kids
music.
It will be interesting to see, though, because it was such a vehicle for Jack Black. Who's this new guy who's going into the...
Alexander Brightman.
Alex Brightman.
Yeah.
He's very good. The funny thing about Alex Brightman, though, because he's on stage almost the entire time and he's jumping around like this, he's supposed to be a schlubby guy. That's kind of the joke, a schlubby loser type.
Right.
But because of the energy he has to expend in the show, he began losing weight, and they told him he's got to go back to being fat and schlubby.
He has to hire a personal anti-trainer.
Exactly right. But I want to go back to this, what you said, Andrew Lloyd Webber, box office poison. I mean, is he deliberately taking himself out so he won't be the target, so he won't be the
I
obvious?
think so, because if people hear a new Andrew Lloyd Webber play, they're going to think, what? Love Never Dies was the disastrous sequel to Phantom that never made it to Broadway.
Yeah.
Whistle Down the Wind never made it to Broadway.
Woman in White.
Unfortunately, which one did make it to Broadway?
Woman in White.
Woman in White.
No, and another one about
Stephen-
Mr. Jeeves or something.
Spy Jeeves did come.
Right, well, that's his track record in the last couple
You know,
of
the
decades.
amazing thing about Andrew Lloyd Webber is he still looms so large because of those early shows, but he has not had a hit since The Phantom of the Opera, which is 28, going on 30 years ago.
Well, because he's taken on daring subject matter.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
it's
he
true.
really has. He's taken on very adventurous subject matter, and hats off to him. But I think in this play, it looks like he's actually going for a commercial hit this time around.
They cast these kids who manage to be adorable without being cloying, and they all really play the instruments. So you have this girl who's about this high, and she plays big double bass, and it's really
Did they
very
keep the
cute.
little gay kid who knows about Liza Minnelli? That was in the movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
No, I don't know they did. That wasn't...
Oh.
Did you ever see
That was
the
you.
movie?
No, I've never seen the movie, but I've seen the workshop, and it's great. All
I'll
right,
tell
so
you a show that I think is a hard sell is obviously going to be Allegiance, which is a George Takei involved musical about Japanese American internment camps. Yeah.
It's based.
give them the old
Razzle dazzle.
It's based to some extent on George Takei's own experience as an internee.
And he's in it.
But
He's in
not
it in a
playing
dual
the-
role. I think
Yes.
he's playing the grandfather as well as maybe
Yes.
the older version of this. Of his
But it's not
character.
only about. It's also about his being a gay kid in a culture that he couldn't be openly gay in. For
Wait a minute.
No, I think
The character's not gay in Allegiance. I asked Lea Salonga, who's also in it.
Oh, and she. Well, I know she's not gay, but
No, we're talking about
somebody's
the George Takei
gay.
character.
Who is it?
Back to the Liza kid in School of Rock.
there's actually a show on Broadway where there are no
gay.
gay
Franklin
characters.
It doesn't have a
Roosevelt.
chance. It doesn't have a
Color
chance.
purple.
Oh yes, yes.
There
There was lesbianism in Color Purple.
Color Purple, yes.
There is.
But
They're
let's just
taking
finish
over.
the George Takei. To me, you think it won't sell, but it does sound interesting. I mean, we don't see this story.
It's right
told
out,
on
I think, at
Broadway.
the Old Globe Theater. And it got respectful reviews. I mean, there's always a problem when the subject matter is earnest. And I can't see it being anything other than earnest. And
You mean you don't think they're going to mock the Japanese?
It wasn't written by the Book of Mormon guys.
but it is fascinating subject matter, and it's a totally new creative team as well. It's written by young talent that hasn't had a...
Use names you
Who doesn't have a name? So young, hasn't been named yet.
Jay Kuo is one of the writers. Thank you very much.
I don't know. I keep your eyes
Edison.
open. Let's talk about a couple of the plays coming.
Okay.
It seems to me a lot of revivals, but I do like the Harold Pinter play Old Times with Clive Owen. I think that's one of Pinter's. It's not exactly accessible, but you sort of can figure out what's going on in this one. Can you, Jesse?
Well, certainly I can, or I had better by the time I review it.
Yeah, that's true.
It is a tough one for a lot of people, and the buzz has been that people have no idea what's going on.
Whoops.
Luckily, it's short. So it's 70 minutes, no intermission.
That's-
Although the original was done with an intermission, I guess they didn't want to offer people the exit. I happen to like it too. I haven't seen this production yet, but it's one of those things where, if it's even slightly less than perfectly acted, then nothing's going on. And
Let me ask you, Michael. Aside from Lin-Manuel Miranda, is Harold Pinter the most overrated theater artist of all time?
Should I pause for 20 minutes before answering?
I mean, have we been sold a bill of goods with
I
Harold
think
Pinter?
maybe some of his works have not held up as well as in the 60s when they seemed more groundbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can see through some of the charades going on. I'm more interested in Stephen King, frankly, because last time he was on Broadway, it was Carrie the Musical, and that was fabulous.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Patrick, are you still a big Pinter fan?
Yeah, I am. I think he's brilliant, and I think this is one of his most brilliant plays. And it's being directed by Douglas Hodge, who won a Tony Award for La Cage aux Folles, of all things.
Yeah.
But has been a long time collaborating with Pinter, both as an actor and as a director, and it's got a crack cast with Eve Best and Kelly
wonderful,
Riley
Eve Best.
and Clive Owen, of course. And it sort of reeks of sex. It's a very sexy play.
Yeah, I think-
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think the only way you can really play Pinter is to do it, if you will, straight. You can't make it seem important. You just have to deliver the lines very quickly with those little pauses here. I don't even know what those pauses are, and let the play kind of work itself out. I hate it when they deliberately slow it down and they make it dark.
well, they didn't do that.
You saw it.
No, but it's 70 minutes.
Yeah.
And very bright. All right, Michael, I know you love this American masterpiece, Misery. This is an adaptation of the Stephen King novel. The adaptation being done by William Goldman, who I believe did the screenplay, if I'm not mistaken, for the
That's
movie.
right.
That's right.
And what you identify with this because you're a writer? Or because you're
I
you're a
identify
shut-up
with-
little
identify
old
with
lady?
both characters. No. I'm glad it's not a musical. I don't think Cocky Duty would lend itself to an aria. And as I mentioned, Stephen King on Broadway last time around was Carrie the Musical, Kill the Pig, Get the Blood. Bad idea. This is a good idea, I think. Laurie Metcalf is a very respected actress and an Emmy winner, and Bruce Willis, I think, is going to sell a lot of tickets because people are going to see.
Can he act?
I don't care.
This looks to me like it's all done just for a quick buck, Jesse.
You think?
Really? Oh, excuse me. Is that the drinking game?
Is it going to razzle dazzle you?
What would a Broadway season be without 3 or 4 of these,
Starter?
visiting stars coming in for 13 weeks or whatever it is, 16? Where's the break even on these days?
It can be anything as low as 10, actually.
They can get by with 10
Yeah,
weeks.
they can get
and
that
still-
by with
If they
10
can
weeks.
get the premium price.
Right,
We've
exactly.
got-
That's what's changed the game.
Yeah, Al Pacino coming in with a David Mamet play. What's
Right.
it about? I don't know.
It's about a rich man and a plane. That's all we've been told.
It's about 90 minutes.
Yes. And
I love paying top dollar, by the way, for these shows. Not that I do, but and people are going, oh, at least it's only 70 minutes.
I know. Well, I'm paying
What kind of
$450
experience
to
is
see Al
that?
Pacino, and it's only 70 minutes. Great. I know it's gone completely crazy. I just want to say though, Patrick, about Misery. The thing that I'm hoping the slot it fills is we don't have these things anymore, but just fun old-fashioned stage thrillers. I mean, we used to have the death traps and the sleuths. We haven't seen one of these in a long, long time, and done well. They're very enjoyable
Because they're incredibly hard to pull off. And that was kind of the rap that Misery had when it tried out at the Bucks County Playhouse under a totally different cast.
Yeah.
But same director. And he's going to have his hands full with Bruce Willis. I don't think that Bruce Willis is the kind of actor that takes kindly to too much direction.
Yeah, but you know, Laurie Metcalf is pretty tough herself.
Yeah.
And I think if Bruce Willis gets out of line, she's the one holding the sledgehammer.
let's hope it's a prop.
I saw this play in London, and it got good reviews. I thought it was a little boring, to be honest with you. King Charles III, and it's about the Queen finally dies, and Charles becomes king, but then is kind of
So it's science
toppled
fiction?
Well, to me, it's macabre because last year Queenie got to watch Helen Mirren as herself. Oh, this is marvelous. Skip ahead a year. What if Queenie was hit by a truck?
Still lovely.
Oh, this is rather ghastly.
Is this making the bid, Patrick, for the snob hit, the English thing that comes in with a pedigree that all the fancy people are going to have to rush to see?
It certainly does, because I think it's done in verse, right? Is it not?
Yeah.
It's done in verse.
3 hours of
It
verse.
also has the ghost of Diana. It's very Shakespearean. It's got all the characters that are straight from the tabloids. So it's certainly going to excite a lot of buzz. And whether it can maintain that, if you felt that it was boring, I don't know.
Jesse, is there just an inexhaustible appetite in this country for things about the royals? I mean, we had a revolution to get away from these people, and now we can't embrace them fast enough on Broadway.
Well, apparently, a homegrown product doesn't sell as well, and it is the Miller centenary, Arthur Miller's 100th birthday. Thanks to Scott Rudin, we're seeing some Miller plays, but other than that, you wouldn't even know that there was a playwright named Arthur Miller. Tennessee Williams is pretty much, except for 1 or 2 plays, washed up on Broadway. Maybe every 5 years you'll get something, but put the Queen in it, bring it every year.
Yeah. or the Tudors.
Then there is hope for Tennessee Williams.
Or the Tudors.
Elizabeth II is Blanche Dubois. I want to talk about those Miller plays, though, because A View from the Bridge, which is coming from Europe, I believe.
It's Ivo van Hove is the...
You can pronounce his name. I'm very impressed.
Well, it's just a bunch of consonants and vowels, Michael. He's a world-renowned avant-garde director, usually not someone you think of in terms of Broadway, but he's doing 2 Arthur Miller plays on Broadway, one in the fall and one in the spring.
The Crucible.
And he has recently done some amazing work that we've seen off Broadway.
And of course, we just saw The Crucible 2 weeks ago, but this one is barefoot.
We also saw A View from the Bridge not so
too long.
very
Yes, we
long
did
ago.
with Allison. No, since that.
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson. She was
Scarlett Johansson.
But I mean, I agree with you. I'm not a big Crucible fan, actually. I saw that at Minneapolis, and I think it's a kind of a pretentious, bloated, overrated thing. But I'm
What?
Oh yeah, no, you sit through it again and all that. Talk about blank verse. There's that
Liam Neeson's last one was terrific.
boring. But I love A View from the Bridge, which I think is really one
And
of
it's
our
important that we
Yeah.
see these things, and I'm glad it is coming.
Right. Well, speaking of things that are also important, Dames at Sea, Patrick, the great musicals of all time. I mean, why? I mean, it was a piffle 30 years ago, and it's coming back in a big Broadway production. A bunch of sailors jumping up and down. What?
Well, I think it's because it's cheap. It's 3 characters. It's 2 pianos, I think, or 6 characters.
6
thank
actors.
you. 6 actors, 2 pianos. It's in the smallest theater, and it's had a long life since 1966. It started at the Cafe Chino.
You saw it, didn't you?
decades ago. It started at the Cafe
Main Street.
Chino, and it starred when 2 years later, when it moved off Broadway to the Lucille, then the Theatre de Lis. It starred Bernadette Peters, and was her first major role. Since then, it's had a long life at colleges and high schools, and perhaps they're counting on the familiarity with that to kind of fuel box.
Wow, if they're
sales.
counting on the familiarity.
Dames
of
at
it.
Sea.
Now,
I think
speaking of-
Michael wants to say something on Dames at Sea.
I saw a press presentation and it looked terrific to me, but
Really?
it's a hard sell.
Yeah.
Because another shipboard pastiche is Anything Goes, but that has hit songs by Cole Porter, and that always has a star.
But I think producers
How are the
often
songs?
feel there's a slot for, like, there's the wartime shipboard kind of
Hello, there's
we had on the
something called
town
On
last
the
year.
Town.
Well, I know it didn't make any
limped
money.
along, and in a very bittersweet
somehow the
fashion,
producers don't
started
ever
selling
notice
for
that.
2 weeks at the end because they got a star, Misty Copeland.
Right.
Now,
Don't you think they thought maybe we should have started out with a
It's
star?
with Missy Copeland. I want to
was great,
mention
by the way.
2 revivals before we're almost done. Do we need another Fiddler on the Roof, albeit with Danny Burstein?
Sure.
Danny is
Why not?
terrific. I don't know if he has the kind of volcanic personality that is usually required for that role. It's the role that Zero Mostel made legendary.
I think
And Alfred Molina
I
ruined.
thought he was terrific too. But knowing Bartlett Shear, who's directing, it will be a
It'll be staged.
stripped down and introspective version, like when Kelly O'Hara played Neely Forbush. It's kind of just a nice girl.
I don't think Bartlett Shear is known for stripped down. I think
Not
he's
at all.
known for
Pageants.
Well, no, I'm talking
emotionally.
more introspective.
Well, that sounds a lot better.
Because the wife is being played by...
By
Ethel Merman.
Jessica Heck.
Thank you, Jessica Heck, who's a very intense dramatic.
if they got Ethel Merman, actually, I hear the Pope is being considered.
Now, but are you
the
going
David
to still
LeBeau
talk about
production.
Oh, I
that
just
show?
wanted to say one other thing about Fiddler. Sometimes we get these revivals not when one might think the audience is ready for them, but when the artists are ready for them.
Yeah.
And he's
when,
ready.
when this
Yeah.
particular director who wants to do this show wants to do it, go for it.
Sounds to me
That's what
like
happens.
self-indulgence.
Good point.
I
That's what it sounds
want
like.
to mention before we go a very major revival. Spring Awakening
The deaf one.
for the deaf community. Spring Awakening.
Michael. Not
just for the title,
You
stop
saw
it.
it, Michael.
It's very good,
Yeah,
and they use the signing because some of the characters sign
Yeah.
while other actors sing and talk for them.
Yes.
Some of them do everything. Each character is approached in a different manner, but they use the deafness to comment on the ostracism and the non
And the sense that the adults don't
in the
listen to their
play.
kids.
Yeah, it's a
It's
very
I think
apt
it's a
metaphor.
Yeah, it's a beautiful show.
No,
I
it's-
love the original production.
And,
Score's
it's
terrific.
really
Beautiful, Duncan
creating a
Sheik.
buzz around town, this production.
Yeah.
And I can hear it.
It's terrible.
I just wasn't thinking we should go there.
No, we shouldn't.
It's Michael Mustard.
Now they're going to cancel. They're coming next week, and now they're going to cancel.
Michael,
All right.
It's Michael Mustard. He's a grotesque. He can get away with saying
Color Purple, Susan?
Isn't he?
Moving on.
Color Purple,
Yeah,
Patrick?
yeah.
Color Purple.
That's coming this fall, isn't
Oh,
it?
God, do we need that? Please.
That's stripped
Well,
down.
no, that's
When
stripped
you want
down.
to talk about stripped down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
It's
John
got two
Doyle's
pianos.
London
Stripped down, but
production.
they've added an Oscar-winning star, Jennifer Hudson, not in the lead role though.
She's in Shug. She plays Shug.
No, you're
Cynthia
the
Erivo plays Seeley.
Who makes the pants, right? Seeley makes
Who makes the pants? Yeah, Seeley makes the pants.
Well, you make
And
her
I hear
sound like she's in the stage crew.
I hear she's terrific. She walked away with the reviews when it was at the Chocolate Meunier Factory, where it got very,
Wait, no,
very
the
good
Meunier
reviews.
Chocolate Factory.
Oh,
Why?
the Meunier.
in London.
Why would Jennifer Hudson come to Broadway to do a secondary role?
Well, because it's a more glamorous role. She doesn't want to play Seeley. She wants to play the glamorous kind of
Seeley's usually
bisexual.
big
Sex pot chanteuse
Yeah.
comes
She's
in
sexy.
and electrifies all the town and
Yeah,
gets
she's
them.
got a couple of big powerhouse.
She jazzed up Finding Neverland, remember?
I do. I wanted though in the Color Purple. I do want because they're all poor, and I wanted to come in with glamour
In a glitter gown out of Dream Girls.
Coming out of Dream Girls.
Come out of her limousine and sing I'm telling you I'm not going.
Well, but
Works for me.
If I can just say, this
Yes.
is a show that if there was a show that could stand to be stripped down, The Color Purple is the one, because the original production was just there was something very wrong about it.
And
you know,
bloated.
and bloated. Based on a really excellent story.
But
from
another
the
American
theater.
Idol star, Fantasia, was actually sensational as a replacement for the lead role.
I saw The Color Purple when it opened. I thought it was terrible. I went back to see Fantasia, and it was terrific. It's one of those shows where you have the right person in that role, and the whole thing feels.
So we'll see how the Pope does.
I think Cynthia Erivo is the right person.
Right. Okay, we got to wrap it up very quickly, though. A performance that you're looking forward to this season, Patrick? An actor you like who's coming back?
I think Keira Knightley
In-
Thérèse Raquin.
The Zola.
Yes,
Zola
it's based on
The Zola's novel.
a Zola novel, and
French writer of the
Thou Shalt Not, actually, the musical some years ago, the Harry Connick, it was based on.
Yeah, but that was a terrible musical. But
Terrible musical, but
Therese
this-
Raquin is a great novel.
A great
So
novel.
If it's adapted well, I think it could be very effective.
Totally.
Well, Michael, an actor you're.
There's a revival of an A.R. Gurney play called Sylvia coming,
Right.
and no jokes about who should have played the lead role of the dog. But it's being played by Tony winner Annalee Ashford. She's always delightful. I always look forward to her stuff.
Absolutely. Jesse, anyone that...
I take them as they come, whoever.
What's striking about The Fall is that Cicely Tyson, who is 90, and James Earl Jones, who is 85, are
doing the gin game.
Doing the gin game.
Yes,
I mean,
but
But she looks 40 on the marquee. Have you seen the marquee?
Yeah, but I mean, the theater, does breed
There are going to be a lot of doctors backstage.
Oh my God.
Well, on that cheer,
All right, thank you. Patrick Pacheco from New York One on Stage. Michael Musto from OutOfTheCloset.com. Where's Razzle Dazzle? Where's my book?
Yep.
Let me take off the discount sticker. There you go.
And Jesse, oh my God, you upset the... and Jesse Green from New York Magazine, thanks for being our guests on Theater Talk, and we'll have you back to assess the spring, which will be around the corner.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Good night.
And if you wanna be the teacher's pet, baby, you just better forget it. Rock out the reason, rock out the rhyme. You better come in school on time. Oh, yeah!
Our thanks to the Friends of Theater Talk for their significant contribution to this production. Theater Talk is made possible in part by the Frederick Lowe Foundation, the Corey and Bob Dinelli Charitable Fund, the Noel Coward Foundation, Carrie J. Fries, the Dorothy Strelson Foundation, and the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs.
We welcome your questions or comments for Theater Talk. Thank you